Measurement is a facet of science, and it's helpful to know what to call the space between here and there. For example, the Romans decided that space from here to there is called a foot. My foot is not that big, but it's on the ground and it anchors me, helps me go places, lets me understand others if I walk in their shoes. Empathy is harder to measure. In other parts of the world, people use different terms, like 30 centimeters or even light nanoseconds to describe the equivalent of this space. The point is not the space or the place, it's the idea that we decide. And we tend to go with the customary methods and use the terms conventional wisdom provides, but we decide the instruments we use to measure spaces, places, people. We decide the value of those measurements. We decide what here to there really means. We use many terms for measurement in life: pounds to track our growth, miles to track our distance, and clocks to track our time. And when we share sad news, we measure the dense weight of sorrow without words. We just feel heavy. In life, there's an understanding that measurement matters for architects, engineers, and economists. But most of us know there is nothing exact about giving an inch or keeping someone at arm's length. In schools, we use many instruments, yet the national conversation is about calendars, and we measure hours by a watch and minutes by the sound of the bell, and as much as we try and ask why, time goes faster than the hands on the clock reveal. And in this new race to the top, the emphasis shifts, and tracking makes students winners and losers, because when you're on a track, that's the nature of a race. That isn't how we define our kids. So I'm saying we need an alteration in the current conversation. Right now, it's very narrow. The instruments we use to measure success restrict our vision, like making the decision to use a ruler to measure the beauty of a painting, or a pressure gauge to determine the quality of an embrace. These are complex concepts. We know we can't reduce passion to an equation and express curiosity on a chart, yet we reduce learning to standards and scores. To get from here to there, we're using a core of knowledge and skills and calling it common. Common equals ordinary. We talk about norms, and that informs the attitudes about education. Where's the conversation about inspiration? We compare from high to low, but where do we go from there? Back to measurement. The human heart weighs approximately 10 ounces. How do we measure its capacity for caring? We could try terms like yards, miles, tons. We care about our kids in kilos? Some things can't be measured from here to there, but the length of the brain is about 165 millimeters. How do we measure its ability to remember? I have 422 grams of memories from my childhood. Imagine you're a child and your success is measured by your score. We know there's more to success than that. And that score does have a purpose and a place. But can we have another conversation? One that includes motivation? We don't talk about that too much because we can't measure it with a tablespoon or show the results on a graph. But motivation is what we want to foster. Let's not get lost in the numbers. We know that communication, innovation, and inspiration don't come easy, especially when we go against the grain. But there's so much to gain by examining our potential rather than our kids. Some things can't be measured from here to there. We walk into a classroom with 25 different faces from 25 different places, and they each have a story to share. I don't want to give them a new and better test. That is not our best answer. I want to give them a new way of knowing, showing each student that curiosity will drive them ahead, instead of training them to fill in the blanks. Some things can't be measured from here to there. We all believe that every student can learn. Of course they can. And every student can show what they know in different ways. In the art of measurement, we decide the terms. Instead of scores, let's try voltage to express what they know. Imagine in the future we measure the electric potential of the class of 2020. Or maybe we could use a light meter to measure their luminous intensity. Imagine how bright this room would be. I understand the need for talk about public education, but there's an art to conversation, a give and take, a call and response, like a brilliant jazz performance. Only the conversation about education is like the tune-up time before the band starts to play. You can't measure a conversation from here to there, but don't you love it when you have a good one? A good teacher can't be measured from here to there either. But we know teaching isn't telling, and in the moment we go from here to there, we make decisions. It's not precision, but like scientists, we discover, we uncover, we do make progress. A scientist must be concerned with measurement, but an artist is concerned with meaning. These are not mutually exclusive, and we need to remember the value of both. It's difficult to argue against the logic of science, but we can balance the scales with the beauty of art. We shouldn't keep adding more to one side. We should decide what feet we want to stand on and walk forward from here to there together. Thank you.